Hey, I'll be right back. I've got to watch this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always funny to see like the slight delay between the air and the recording view.
Great job, Lauren. Lauren is driving the controls today for the first time. She can remove the trainee badge.
Heck yeah. Even watch this. Even get zoomed in all nice and pretty.
All right, don't go all Earl on us.
Yeah. No show off.
Welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour. This is the show that takes you through what I like to call an unpolished demo. In fact, it's the antithesis of a well-polished demo. We have a mission, we have some new tools to play with, and we take you on that journey through the discussion, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to scrape our knees, we're going to bump our heads, but we're all going to learn together. That's what I love about this. And the community, the live people are right there with us to go along with on the way. Before we begin, let's do some quick intros, starting with this young lady.
Hi, everybody. My name is Laura McManamon. I am the new member of the developer advocacy team. I've worked with ServiceNow stuff for about 7 years and worked at ServiceNow specifically about 5. And I'm very excited to see all the cool stuff about Formula Builder today. So off to you, Chuck.
Thanks. I'll just hand that back.
Yeah.
Mess around with the screen. My name is Chuck Tomasi, Senior Developer Advocate at ServiceNow. Been here since 2010, was a customer for a couple of years before that. And way back in 2016 at Knowledge 16, someone was in one of my app dev courses right in the front row. So
heck yeah.
We have a bit of a history even before she got to this team a few weeks ago. So very glad you're part of the team, Lauren. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a long journey, and let's introduce our beverage of the day.
I'm excited. You go first. I'm all pumped.
No, we go in the same order as the
same
intro.
Order. Okay. Well, this is so in honor of Tokyo. I've been trying to do a new sake every live coding happy hour. So today we have a Honjozo sake, which means that it is. I believe that means that there is alcohol added to it. Like it's not just pure rice. And this is actually it's called the karakuchi, which means dry. So it's a more traditional dry sake. So we'll see how it goes.
I think I've seen that label more than once. That should be an easy one to find, right?
Yeah, really easy to ask your local Kroger employee what that says.
You don't ask, you just look for the label.
Yeah.
It's that
the only downside to sake. It's like, oh, I have to take a picture of this for sure.
I've got 2 to choose from the same vendor. I'm still on my Hawaiian vacation from July. So I've still got some Kona Brewing left to go. I'm going to start with the Kona Light Blonde Ale.
Ooh,
since neither of us are light blondes here.
No, not anymore. Used to be. Gave up on that long ago.
So, my favorite sound of the whole show. Yeah.
Oh, that's the only, again, another downside. Cheers to all y'all out there. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Let's end this on a high note. Where are we? Oh man, we got comments galore coming in. So yeah, Lauren's job is to keep an eye on the comments and then run any titles while we got. And in case you missed it, which I seem to be writing a lot of on social media these days, Lauren, point up with your left hand to that nice circular logo right above your ear.
If I can get it in shot. There we go.
I love watching people try to do that.
It's like, where is it going? Where is it
going? The storm front is moving in from the east over here.
Yep.
This is part of our Tokyo content, as also indicated by Lauren's beverage of choice. We are going through our Tokyo early availability or early access period at this point. Started on August 4th with our Tech Now kickoff. And you can find all of the information about Tokyo at devlink.sn/Tokyo. Here comes. Yes, here's the paycheck for the day. What's bad is when we both start poking at it, it shows up and goes away. And
yeah, pops out. Yeah.
So I'm keeping hands off the controls today. This is all on you.
I've gotcha.
So go over to that link. You can find our calendar of events. You can find it organized by topic. If you miss something, we'll have links in there. If you're looking forward to something, you can mark your calendar on it. So I know a lot of people were looking forward to Formula Builder. So that's today's topic, according to the schedule. And we also have a discussion with Matthew Ripley. Sorry, I just recorded it yesterday, edited it, and gave him the draft copy today. We have a podcast called Breakpoint. I don't know if we have a breakpoint flag in there anywhere, Lauren, but devlink.sn/breakpoint is where you can find that. And that will be coming out on the 20. I've got to count my Wednesdays. What are the 24th, 26th, later this month. So we should have that one in the
Next
queue
Wednesday.
shortly. So we'll have it's every other Wednesday. One's coming out. Why, man, no, like next week is the 24th already.
It's next Wednesday. I
It's
know.
the
August
end
went
of
by like that.
August. I was ahead for a while.
I keep looking up the due dates for a lot of my Tokyo content. It's like, oh, it's September or something. I'm like, that's not too far away.
Especially when you count in that holiday weekend, it's going to be like hop, skip, and we're there. Like, ah.
Yep, my whole family's coming in between too, which definitely is a time commitment as well.
Okay, so let's take a look at Formula Builder. This is a new technology, and the reason we came out with this is to give new people, low coders, a way to ease into ServiceNow for calculated fields. Now, traditionally, you've probably seen calculated fields with, like the sysuser table has a name field. And although it seems like it should be simple of first name plus space plus last name, there's a whole formula in there of JavaScript. And a lot of people just don't gravitate to JavaScript real easily. They say, hey, I've got this amount that needs to be price times quantity. Well, you got to use JavaScript. And they go, running for the hills. Okay, so we fail as soon as we introduce a simple formula. We've got a way to do that now that's a little more comfortable, a little more friendly. This is not exactly Excel syntax. This is our own syntax, but it resembles Excel a lot. And if you've ever written an Excel formula, you can figure this out. So I'm going to show you a couple things and realize, like many of the things we release, this is an MVP, so not everything's going to be there. Lauren and I were just discussing, and I said, hey, there's one thing we're going to have a challenge. And she challenged me back and said, I think you can do it. So we got a whole bunch of stuff. I made a little mock application, and I say we just jump right into it. What do you think?
I like to hear that. Which is your preference? Is it this view or is the one that is full screen?
Let's give the viewer the most they can see. I'm going to get rid of that so we're seeing what we actually are supposed to be seeing.
Fantastic.
So this is I had no imagination. I just made a parts ordering system yesterday. If you're ever looking to make some quick dummy demo data, there's a site called Mockaroo, MOCKAROO, that you can crank out a CSV or JSON really quickly. And I did this with this. In fact, these part numbers are actually what do they call them? IDC 10 medical codes.
Ooh, really?
It could mean I'm having a heart attack. This one could mean my surfboard is on fire. I don't know. I got a buddy who will be able to tell you a handful of these. Yeah, there was what was one of the funniest ones he told me was water skis on fire. Like you got in an accident with water skis on fire. They just make up codes now. Look at that. She's making new labels all the time. So fun site to go make something up. If you need some first names, last names, anyway, but I don't pay anything for them. They don't pay anything for this. So just one of those things that comes up every once in a while. It's like, I need some generic demo data. So I made this quick application I called Carbon and gave it 100 records. And we've got some things we need to do to this. And I purposely engineered it to have lots of formula opportunities in here. So if you look at any one of these records, we got a first name and a last name, but on the list, we only have name. Okay, so I say step one is, let's build a formula to calculate this name for us.
Absolutely. In fact, Chuck and I were looking at all the calculated fields that exist on ServiceNow, and incidentally, a lot of them currently revolve around asset management and things like that. So I think kind of basically trying to see how many of these legacy use cases for calculated values that we can use with Formula Builder will be ultimately pretty fun.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
That was my challenge yesterday. Normally, Earl was going to be presenting this topic, but Earl had a personal emergency to deal with, so he can't be here. So at the 11th hour, Lauren and I jumped in and said, Earl, you take care of the family, you take care of you. We got this. And since it's live coding happy hour, we can screw up as much as we can.
Heck yeah.
I just did this Monday for Creator Toolbox, and it worked out all right. And that had higher stakes. So let's, I'm going to first go into the dictionary the old-fashioned way, because normally, if a lot of times you'd go, all right, right-click on the field and configure dictionary. Or, oops, yeah, there's my first oops. Take a drink. Let's go to App Engine Studio. And this is a scoped app that started life in App Engine Studio. We wait, like all good demos, all good live demos. And I have my Carbon app. And it's really not much of an app. It simply has a table. I guess I made an experience too. Let's go to edit. So we see the table editor. And there is a formula editor in the table editor.
Mm-hmm.
However, you like that. If we go to name, don't want to edit it. And I bring up the properties over here. Oh, I can edit it here. Okay, I was confusing myself because I thought from the form editor, we don't have the name field on here. So you can't simply click it. So normally if you click it, you get formula at the bottom. But this properties panel is the same as this properties panel. Oh, that's first name. I got to get to name.
The name. Yeah.
Go to name. There's name. All right. So we've got our formula, and I'll show you the reason I like this better when it's available, which should always be now, is let me show you the side by side. If I go to configure dictionary, I can do it on the whole table and bring up the traditional dictionary entry record. This is the backend representation of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in order to see the calculated field, I've got to get to advanced view.
For this to be an option, does the field type have to be anything specific?
It will, the formulas we use are specific to the field type.
True.
I do, that's a great question because editing from here brings up this formula editor. Mm-hmm. Editing from here is a straight old script box.
Correct. So that was a good question from Phil Goes Deep is there a limit to where the calculations can occur based off I assume that like the image field type would probably not have a calculated version, but who knows? I'm not quite sure. It's a good question.
So we want to, let's look at the documentation real quick. I do happen to have it here. And one thing I discovered, if you simply look for formula builder, first of all, I can't spell formula right away without first spelling forum. I don't know why. It's a muscle memory problem. You get a lot of performance analytics stuff. Formula indicators, creating a formula indicator. Okay. Formula builder. Still not the best. What I found is if you look for table builder in the release notes or Tokyo, Lauren, I think you showed me this one yesterday. There is a formula builder link right there. Okay, that's step one. You could do that. Or if you remember this next part really well, the title of the page, formula for column. Formula for column. It'll bring up formula column right there. That's the page you want. See that?
Fantastic.
Woo! 3D. Okay, so this will bring up the same page either way. I often go through the table builder page myself because I can never find formula builder. Anyway, we have several formula functions, I guess we're calling them, that you can use. We can do an average of some numbers. Now, this doesn't do a glide aggregate for you. This takes whatever's on the current record. So all of this is current dot something, if you want to think of it that way. There's no scripting. That's the point of this, is to reduce that technical debt, reduce the scripting. We got average, we've got divide, we've got max, min, multiply, power. So you can do exponential, raising something to another power. Subtract, sum, concatenate. That's what we want for the first name, last name thing. Is blank does not do what you think it does.
It doesn't. It's so sad.
It just says it should be has blank, because it will return a true or a false if you have a blank in there. So example underscore string has no blank, but the value of full name like Lauren space McManamon will return that. So I don't know who named these, but maybe can we blame Excel at this point?
I think we might have to at this point. We're like, oh, it's all All
Length
y'all.
returns a string value as length, which is nice to know, and we might be using that today if we get time. Lowercase, replace, title case, uppercase. I don't know why these aren't alphabetic. They really should be. Now has nothing to do with service now. It simply tells you the current date and time in ISO format. And we have logical operators in case you want to do something inside an if. We have an and, if, and, or. Okay, so we got a lot of the basics down.
Yeah, especially for the first release of this type of product, that's always really good to see.
Yep, I would have expected we had about 5 or 6. Like concatenate.
Yeah, like just 8, like add, plus, multiply, divide.
So let's start with concatenate, and when we start typing, it starts doing an autocomplete for us. Woohoo! And then it gives us the syntax down here. Again, formula editor in table builder. Wicked cool, better than typo mistakes in the dictionary entry field. So we are going to do first name plus, no, not plus, it's all commas. See, I was slipping into JavaScript mode there.
It was a nice use case to see how it checks your syntax.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So it goes, if you have a comma, it says, did not expect the parenthesis token when parsing expression. And it also tells you, as you start typing these things, you want to do a lowercase here? Do you want to do a, it's like, no, that's my complete formula. Now, if my data were not all proper case, I could do something like title case of that, which probably wouldn't be a bad idea. And then another one here.
Though ruinous to us with Irish last names with multiple
Oh,
multiple uppercase letters in the middle.
So apparently the function names do not need to match, or should they? You can click this title case and it says, here's the format of it too. So I'm kind of digging this thing. I don't know if this will work with lowercase title case. Let's find out.
Do you need the value in the middle?
Did I miss it?
The two parentheses, not parentheses, quotes. What are those called?
The quote?
Yes, I'm having a brain fart. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's going to be part of the concatenate. I want to concatenate.
Oh, of course. Yeah, the middle.
This with that. Something tells me I have to make these uppercase because they're not recognized as a keyword. But notice that I can't edit straight from here. You can hear me banging on the key. Nothing is happening. Let's go ahead and save that. And if you notice, the dictionary entry was updated. Now here's the key. In the dictionary, not only the calculated turn on, but formula, I can always flip back to script and add script there. Now, don't do both. It will do one or the other, but it won't do the other. It won't do both. We need some demo data to show us that the title case is actually working. So let's go to our open orders, take 1077, and if this data had come in this way, Francine, we update that. Okay, it appears to be working.
Now, I have a quick question for you, Chuck. Yeah. What happens if you change your mind and you no longer want it to be a calculated field? Like if you remove the calculation, what happens to the values that are already there?
So there are actually, this is something I learned a long time ago. There are no values here in the record. In fact, if I go to, let's say 1023, and I say show XML, what do you see in, oh, it did update something.
Oh.
Okay, that's not the way I learned it. And I thought my testing yesterday when I was building this out showed that it was still empty. I know that when you update a record, like I just did Francine's name with lowercase and said save, then it saves it to the database. Otherwise, it's only displaying it when it needs to display it. So if you went to query for some of these, you might have issues. I've got something that'll verify this for you. But at this point, let's go and turn that off. I don't know how you can turn it off from here. But I know how I can turn it off from the dictionary.
Yeah. Because like, would it just save then the most recent value in that spot then, I guess?
Yes. Yes, it will.
Interesting. Cool.
So if I say, let's take the name field. I'm going to open up my records in another entry. So calculate, if I uncalculate that and say update the dictionary, and then all open. You can see this one has been saved.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. If I went in here
Fascinating.
and said show XML,
Mhm.
the only one that it becomes persistent is the one that was updated when that calculation was done.
But it
So
ran.
just like the calculated field logic when you script, this
Mhm.
thing says, I don't have a value in the name field. I need to calculate that and show it to you. When you save it, it says, oh, while we're saving, I see you have this calculated field value. So I will save a calculated version of that to the database. Important distinction, because when you say, let's do our next one. Let's take the amount.
Okay.
Okay, so I have some details of this order. And for simplicity's sake, let's start out with quantity ordered times the cost is going to equal the amount. What function do you think we'll need, Lauren?
Repeat the question. Sorry. I was making
know,
sure I
you're
was
looking all
monitoring the
over the place.
chat.
How do I calculate the amount?
Quantity order times cost.
Works for me. We're going to start simple. We'll see if we can get that discount in here in a bit. So I don't trust myself enough yet to go straight to configure dictionary. Let's go to amount. And over on the side panel, it looks funny because I've got my font extra large. Normally people would see it something like that, but I'm doing this for readability. So add multiply tab. Oh, I love this. This is getting better all the time.
Yeah.
Quantity ordered, and you can just click times. What was the number? Is it cost, price?
Amount. Well, it's saving an amount, but cost.
Okay. And I believe if you start typing field labels, it will use field labels in case your labels and names are not the same. So we try that. We save that and refresh this. Come on, I missed. Refresh that, and we get an amount. Hooray!
Oh yeah.
Okay, now here's where I prove myself that the value you see on the list is not what the value is in the database. Because if you were to do something like configure list calculations and put a total at the bottom, it has no sum. There's nothing being calculated because there's nothing in the database. So yeah, that could get a little wonky. So if I went back to like 1077 and said, all right, let's update it with something. Update Francine's name one more time. Now it has stored that, and that
But
shows
only that one. Interesting. So one of the questions that has been popping up in the chat has been something along the lines of, there's been conflicting advice about calculated fields in the past, especially when you have things like business rules that exist. So what would be the best scenario to use one or the other? Here, I'll put it back to my face.
Business rules have to take time to stop and run. I don't really have a best practice of one over the other. They are options. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. A business rule is only going to run when you have some sort of database transaction, an insert, an update, that kind of thing. This will obviously do this for a list. Now, my question is, let's turn name back on.
Okay.
Let's turn name back on because I want to see if you can do a query against that.
Good point.
Advanced view, calculated on. My formula is still there. Update.
That's kind of nice. Usually it wipes those out. That's nice that it stays.
Nope, those stay. So let's go back to this list. We get all these and say, find something that contains park. Oh, okay. So you know what I would do? Here's what I would do. Since we know that it updates these on insert and delete,
yes.
If you employ a calculated value on existing data, I would go through and do a glide record force update. I don't know if force update is allowed on, I don't think it's allowed on scoped fields, on scoped apps. So that's something to keep in mind. So what that would do is if you do a force update, it says, I don't care if you changed anything or not, you're going to do an update on this record. And all those calculated values will be stored as persistent values so that you can do these kind of queries. Best practice, create your calculated values before you import data or create those records, or you're going to have these legacy gaps. If you have those legacy gaps, you're going to need to find some way to force an update to that record so that it's recalculated and stored.
Absolutely. So what you're saying is this is great for any new app ideas that y'all have out there. Just make sure before that app is storing data that you're building those in beforehand.
Yeah, and maybe we should talk to the product managers and say, hey, if I change a formula, you might want to do a checkbox or something that says, do you want to update all existing records?
Oh, good point.
That might be a good enhancement request. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to our orders. We got our amount? Yes, we got our amount. What do you say we do another one? I have a priority field, and the priority field currently has 2 values. Unfortunately, it's also read-only. Most calculated fields, I suggest making read-only so people don't jack with the value that's stored by the calculation. I am going to base this priority off of the amount. So if this order was more than 30,000, whatever this is, yen, yuan, rupees, I don't dollars, it has no amount. It could be, 38,000 cards from crimes against humanity. I am going to make another formula for the priority. So you can use a calculated field based off of another calculated field. So there's priority. And we go, this time we're going to use an if. So we're going to do a conditional. And it is logical test, value if true, value if false. Almost looks like a ternary operator to me. So let's say amount is greater than 30,000. Then the value is going to be high. Otherwise, it's going to be normal. Submit. Back to the list. And we see nothing. I didn't save.
that does work wonders.
There's one. Take a drink.
It's like my mom. She always says whenever she forgets her keys, it's like clockwork. She always goes, well, they do make the car go faster. It's like her catchphrase.
All right. So we have our amount. We have our list. And we have some that are high. I put in the field style just for, funsies. So you can quickly see the high. Interesting point. Something that I just put in the Slack TIL this morning, the Slack channel, TIL, things I learned. I pinged Ashley about this and I said, what happened to the coloring around the words that we saw in Next Experience? And the answer I got is it was taken out because of accessibility reasons. So we're back to the old colored dot. I don't prefer the colored dot because it shifts the characters around, which is really annoying if you have numbers or something. You can always do this. Go down here and say modern cell coloring off. I was around when I asked Tyler Jones to put that in. And it does this like UI11 treatment to it. It's still available. I know my brother who loves his Excel spreadsheets loves that style as well. I'm not so hot on it. My favorite was the styling around the letters. It's like, where did it go? Can I have an option for that too?
Another toggle for them to add.
I'm not, visually impaired. So can I have the one that I like? Anyway, so we got priority, we got amount, we got first name, last name. There's another one in here that you seemed intrigued about. I have a couple of dates in my demo data.
Yes.
I have a date ordered and a date shipped, and I would like to calculate the fulfillment duration. Now, let's find one that has 2 dates in it so we can start out simple. So we need fulfillment duration.
For some reason, my Achilles heel is always calculating differences between times on ServiceNow.
It's always and time zones, and don't get me started.
It's my all-time problem. I've never been good at it. I don't think I ever will be.
My best advice for anyone doing that in JavaScript is if you're going to use get display value or set display value, use it always. Don't switch to get value somewhere, or you're going to introduce a time zone offset somewhere. If you stick with get value and set value, stick with get value and set value, and you are basically ignoring the time zones. But don't mix and match them, or you're just going to find yourself in a bad place. Okay, this one has a function.
Time diff.
Time diff. Evaluates the time duration between two dates and returns a duration. Now, did Chuck do his job right? This is a glide duration. This is obviously a date. It has the calendar widget on there. Don't ask me if I want to use a date time. I don't know. Maybe we can play with that next week. So let's do time diff.
And then there's also the due date field type too.
Time diff, and we want to put in date shipped. Is it which way does the calculation go? High value, low value? 502, 407. So it looks like it's going high value, low value.
Future, past, yeah.
Okay. Important to note. Pay attention to those things, otherwise you're going to get a whole bunch of
negative durations.
Values. Yeah. So what did I say? Date shipped minus date ordered. See what happens. Save. Don't take a drink. And we do reload form. 11
days. Gosh.
Okay.
That's my dream come true right there.
So the next question, what happens if you do this? If this is, apparently it doesn't do anything because you haven't shipped, but I would like to use a default value of right now. How many days has it been? Well, obviously, this is the 19th, so we should see 1 day in there, right? That would stand to reason, right? You want to see,
of course, it makes sense.
Or if something is 2 years and it hasn't shipped yet, why not? So let's see if we can beef this up a little bit. Now, one thing you won't find in here is an equivalent to a JavaScript .nil, is nil, is null, that kind of thing. So that leads us to a question. We thought we could use is blank, but that simply says you have blanks in your string, which I guess we could use because this date doesn't. Oh, wait, no, dates. The dates wouldn't have a blank in them anyway. So, Lauren, you had a creative idea that we have to try. This is live coding happy hour.
I don't know if it's a good idea. It's an idea.
Hey, any idea is a good idea at this point. It was to use the length property. Now, normally this would be used on a string, but since a date is stored as a string, I say we give it a try.
It's worth a shot right now, because right now it doesn't seem that there's an ability to determine if something is empty through this formula builder.
We need to edit. Caught by my own words again. If we put an if in here, we can put an if there and say
date shipped.
Length of date shipped is greater than 0. Then we will use.
You had to move the greater than 0 outside of the length.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Then that way. Otherwise, we will use now. I think I have too many parentheses in there because it automatically put one in for me.
Yeah.
Row. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You need a parentheses
3,
around
2.
It says
no, because this.
You just want the length of date shipped, though. You have the greater than.
You're right.
operator.
You're right. I need that, but I also think I need one out here again. No.
I think you have right.
Token date ordered when parsing. Let's write this piece by piece.
Okay.
Okay, so if length of date shipped is greater than blah blah blah, we should have. No, that doesn't go there. That goes out here.
All right. Does?
We need length of date shipped. Oh, you're right. Because this is calculating a length. Can we do another line? Yes.
I know I want to do a var so bad, but that's just doing calculated values.
And then we need our if. Wow, this thing really, it only color codes you if you hit tab, but it works anyway.
Mhm.
Our if is going to be, so our, yeah, this is where a var would be nice, right?
Yeah.
This is where our length comes up.
Of date shift.
Greater than 0, do X, do Y.
Yeah.
Right? And then we're going to take the time diff of whatever the if gave back to us. Your if would go there. That look reasonable?
I thought the time diff was it had 3 values inside of it.
You're right. You're right.
Or 2 values, not 3.
It's going to take the first one because this is going to return either.
Oh, well, I know what we're doing.
If it's greater than 0, we take date shipped. If it's not greater than 0, we take now.
We do time diff, yeah.
And then time diff is going to take the if inside it.
No. Time diff is inside the if statement. So if the length is 0, then else, right?
We need either this or this compared against date ordered. The time diff originally looked like this. Let's put this back. Date, shipped, date, ordered. What we're replacing is the date shipped with this conditional. Do you want the date shipped or do you want now? Well, that depends if the length is greater than this.
Oh, then don't we need an else?
No, the else is use the now.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
If date shipped is 0, then we'll use now. Okay, so I think if we write the original, wow, this hovering over is getting on my nerves. Okay, so we need to just copy and paste things into their respective places. This gets replaced with the if. All right. This is where the aged scripters like me go, it was easier in JavaScript, trust me.
Yeah.
And then we take length of date shipped and replace it with that.
Yeah.
Look at that. The error message went away. Okay, I have a new way of debugging these. We are working on a tester / checker. I heard that from Matthew as well. So there's more stuff coming. This is not the end of the story, obviously. And more functions like is empty or is null or something, I hope. We don't even know if this will work. We spent a whole lot of time on something that may not work.
That's just a test whether or not length can be used as a is empty or not.
Right. Well, let's find out. Reload form.
Oh! I'm so happy. I just jumped out.
You win, Laura, for the win. Let's see. Let's move it back a couple of days. Let's go back here and save. Awesome. And then let's say, no, it was really shipped yesterday and save. Oh, that is so cool.
Oh my gosh. This makes it worth it. That's so
okay,
worth
so
it.
length is a suitable replacement for blank. No.
Getting a length of 0, even for objects, is, at least in this circumstance, at least for a date object, works.
We got fulfillment duration. Hey, should we go for broke and try and figure out if we can work in this discount?
We got the time.
We got some time. I'm taking a drink for that celebration.
Oh, yeah, earned it.
There we go. Let's move on. Okay, so let's say we have this. Wow, that's a hefty discount of 76%. Now, this is a whole number. It's not like 0.76. That would be too easy, right? So I need to think about how this works with applying a discount to an existing number without repeating a whole bunch of formulaic stuff. So let me just bring up some dumb text editor. Make this font large enough because I want to whiteboard this in my mind.
Yeah.
So let's go 48. I want right now we have cost times quantity ordered.
Equals
right? Never mind about the quantity shipped. If something's back ordered, they still pay for it. They'll just get it later. We want to take that. This is where a var would be nice again. We end up with our amount.
Correct.
So
and is it
we're literally
76% off, or is that?
Yeah, that's 76% off. It's a great discount.
It's a really
Okay.
good discount.
Then we're going to say, I think we're going to have to repeat some stuff in here.
It would
What
have
we
to
really want,
be.
I'm assuming parentheses will give us order of operation.
I hope so. I mean, there
We
are
could say,
operators, like logic operators.
the
So,
logic's not going to do us any good in a mathematical
well, I
calculation.
mean, I guess that would imply that syntax does
It would be minus discount
times cost.
76. We would have to.
Well, discount divided by 100 because it's not 7. It's not 0.07.
Right. Then it would. Then if you multiply, then it'd be multiply. I'm really struggling at my basic computer science 101 here and my freshman high school math. Someone's got it. Cost minus cost divided by 100 times discount. Sam is suggesting something in the chat. This is why I love live coding.
It's helpful.
Cost minus, so it'd be 76 minus. Oh wait, cost. Oh, you want to apply it directly to the cost and then multiply times the quantity ordered. That would make sense if we applied it, or don't we have to apply it to both? No, because multiplication is transitive. So it should work. Okay. Let me think about that. It's got cost.
It would be discount divided by 100 though, times cost.
Divided by times cost. All right, let's try that. Cost times discount, and then we still have to multiply it. That's going to.
We need to subtract it though from something, don't we?
We do need to subtract. Well, we need to subtract the other part, the 34%, the 24%.
Correct.
That's why we needed that minus part.
I mean, if you're just using, if I was using amount as a substitute, the correct equation would be amount minus, and then in parentheses, amount times 76 divided by 100, correct?
This doesn't seem like the right thing. I'm doing. Let me do some simple numbers here. If
Okay.
quantity is 100 and the cost is 10, we would have 1,000, right? Without a discount. If our discount is 10, we would have 90. Does that work in this formula? 10 minus.
Well, sorry, it's not cost, it's amount though.
No, the amount at this point, if you just did cost times quantity, is going to be 1,000. If you just applied those first two.
Gotcha.
If you then added this in of a discount of 10%, your amount is going to be 900. Right? Because if you apply 10% discount to 1,000, you're going to get 900.
Yeah.
How do you make that happen? It's going to be, I'm just going to brute force it for now.
I think MeTube has it correct in the chat.
Who had it?
Right? I think, right?
That's what I was afraid of. Lots of duplicates.
Yeah.
So let me write that down.
Yeah. Cost times quantity minus discount divided by 100 times cost times quantity.
Yeah,
it's hard because cost and amount are so similar.
amount is the okay. Cost times quantity minus. This is pathetic right now.
It's Friday. Everyone's got Friday brain.
And we've been drinking. Don't do maths and drink. Times. I bet somebody had to Google this.
Cost times quantity. Yeah.
Okay, does that work?
Discount divided by 100, but yeah.
So cost times quantity is 1,000 minus discount divided by 100. I think it was supposed to be. Yes, it was. Well, we're getting a lot of answers. So discount divided by 100 is 0.1 times that is going to be 100. So yes, this is, I think we have it. Okay, now we have to translate this into formula editor.
Woo!
Don't woo yet. Okay, I need to be able to see that. I'm gonna put that on the other monitor for a second and see if we can engineer this. How
many monitors are needed to do basic math?
I got 5. I'm ready to go.
You have 5 monitors?
The fifth one is there's There's 4 that are hardwired. Well, 1 built in, 3 that are HDMI, and 1 I can do an AirPlay to.
Dang, that's a good setup.
It's a studio. You gotta be
You
able
gotta
to
do it.
see.
You gotta do an office tour sometime.
I am. Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I was just thinking about that again today. It's like I need like a sizzle reel of what's in my studio. Okay, we don't. Where do we want to start with this? We need
Multiply?
multiply
That's
cost times
perfect.
quantity. We have that. We have that. Minus our discount divided by 100
Mhm.
times quantity ordered.
Can we use the times and divided by, or do we have to use the?
Oh, we have to do multiply. Dang it.
Sorry. I was like, how do I say this subtly? It's correct, but
You got me. Okay, so let's take this apart. We just did this part. We'll do divide here. Start with the inner ones and go out. Starting from the inner ones, we need to go out. So let's do multiply here. And that's going to be, oh, thanks. Quantity ordered. This editor is confusing me. Quantity ordered, comma, cost. Okay, that means we get to get rid of this part. Yeah, this is way easier. Then we take this and do our divide, right? Discount divided by 100. So let's do divide, discount, 100. Then we multiply those 2 together with, I'm gonna have to do it this way again. Multiply part 1. Otherwise, it starts injecting parentheses and gets me all confused.
yeah.
Okay, that becomes what goes in there. Oh, I still have a syntax error somewhere. Did not expect token right parenthesis when parsing expression. Which one? This one?
Too many left parentheses. Oh, there you go.
It didn't get rid of the error though. It means I probably have an unbalanced one here. There. Okay, good. So multiply this minus
the multiply.
Yes, multiply, divide. I think we got it.
I think we do too.
Oh, what is this?
Minus. It has to say subtract.
Subtract. Oh, kill me. Just kill me now. I'm glad it should just say that. Hey, idiot, what are you doing?
Oh, that's going to be a great soundbite, Chuck. Kill me now. Yup, there we go.
Hey, it came up in the editor. It liked it. All right, lesson learned. Don't give discounts.
Yeah.
Reload form. That looks about right. We had 38K in there before. Let's do something.
That looks correct.
Quantity ordered.
Let's use your example from before.
Cost 10, discount 10. Do the dance. Oh yeah.
Heck yeah. Woo! See, it was worth it.
We should have done this back ordered one real easy. That's just a subtract. We should have done another easy one. Let's say we ordered 500. If we ordered 500 and the number received was 464, I'm going to do it just so we can end on a high note here and get all our requirements done.
Yeah.
What was it? It was back ordered. Back ordered is going to be this will be easy compared to the last one. Subtract.
100%.
We should have done this easy so we remembered subtract. Quantity received. No, quantity ordered minus quantity received. You ordered. Once you start tinkering with it, it doesn't let you go forward again. Quantity ordered. And it's quantity received. I hope. He says with all full confidence. Reload. Hey, that looks right.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Let's go to the list. Okay, what's our amount down here say? 4,500, because only that first one has a static value stored.
Yes.
A persistent value, I should say. You know what? I want to try and fix that. Where's my scripts background? Come on, let's just find out if scripts background var carbon gr equals new glide record. Let me make that a little bigger for you. Record x6238 carbon order carbon gr dot query carbon gr dot. Can we do these all at once? You have to do. I'm going to do it one at a time. That's the way I've done it in the past. Carbon gr dot next and carbon gr dot force update. I think this is the part that is going to get us in trouble. I also couple this often with carbon gr dot auto sysfield. Is it plural? I think it is. True. No, false. Don't. Is it auto sysfield or is it update?
I've not used this function before.
It's update sysfields. All right. Gotta look. I break down. Developer.servicenow.com. This will tell us for sure too whether it's in scope or not. Auto. We'll just do glide record. I can't remember the name. How are you supposed to look up? It's like spelling a dictionary. Look in the dictionary, see how to spell a word that you can't spell.
Yeah.
Glide record. Oh, this is a training guide. I didn't want a training guide.
Docs.
I don't want that.
While you're looking for that, I'll use this opportunity.
Wait, I just did like a search. I want reference server scoped. I can do this. Don't drink and document, kids. Glide record. And I want auto. Put in there. Force. Force is strong with this one. Look. Glide record. There's no force update. We have a problem. Rats, because it is there in global. Is it auto? That's not even in there. Force update is available in scoped. It is?
So what are the what does force update do? It's a function I haven't used before.
It says, I don't care if you've made any changes to this or not, you're going to do an update.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
And that will save our persistent fields.
Smart Carlian says it's set force update.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
But it's not available in scoped, she says.
That's but force update. Hey, we're gonna find out.
You got update.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay, run script, and it says, no, you can't do this. Method not allowed exception. That's what I was expecting. What's the other one? I thought I was. Give me my docs back.
Can we run it in global or no? Because it's a scoped
out.
No.
You would have to change the table to be modifiable by all other scopes, which you could do temporarily, I guess. New update. Set abort action. No. Set workflow. You would probably want to also use set workflow false on this if you had any workflows or business rules or flows or anything. Carbon gr.set workflow false. What's the other one? Go back to here. We have 5 minutes. I want to see this done. We're going to go to server global and look for glide record because it has a few things that I don't. It is auto sysfields is the other one. That says, don't muck with my date updated. Don't muck with my mod count. Don't muck with anything. So do that. Don't do that. I'm going to take this approach. Can't do that from here. Let's make this.
So if this works, in theory, you could just create like a button that would, you could create.
That would, yeah, you could, but once the records are created, you're fine.
It'll just update anytime. It's the first time.
It's existing data that you're going to run into problems. So let's do table and go to application access and say, this table is available from all application scopes. Well, theoretically, we don't need to change anything because that's the way it came to me out of the box. Copy that just in case changing the scope loses sanity. Run. 100 records updated.
Ooh, like to see that.
All records. We'll know if our calculated amount is right. Woohoo!
Oh!
We'll make 1 million something. Okay. So watch your table access. It looks like AES. I just learned something else here. AES leaves this as all application scopes, which kind of surprises me. I don't remember changing it.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that was a good
default.
idea.
That's interesting.
Yep. Lauren, I think we got it all done and then some.
I think that is the best way to kind of end off this live stream. Congratulations. We got all of our challenge things done too. That's awesome.
Oh, it's karaoke time.
Indeed.
Well, thank you for helping out and watching the chat. Do we have any force update is available for scoped glide query, not glide record? Oh, good to know, smart Carlene.
Very nice. One thing
that I got away with that.
One thing that we always want to plug is the Build with AES challenge, which is now entering into its latter half of it being active. As of right now, if you've not heard about this, as of at the moment, there's a post that is pinned at the top of the ServiceNow community where if you showcase a short video or blog post about what you really love about App Engine Studio and like show an app that you've built, we'll send you a shirt. I think I've already seen people receiving their shirts. So that's also really nice to see.
Saw some on social media and I had an internal guy say, where can I get more of these shirts?
Gotta build some more apps, dude. And that ends September 4th at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you got plenty of time to showcase all the cool stuff that y'all already built anyway.
September 4th. Isn't that like Sunday night? Saturday night?
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Interesting time.
Yeah.
If you get to Monday after Labor Day in the US, you missed it. So good. Thank you for reminding me of that. That's a good thing to plug. Yeah, I think Phil's is the one that I saw with the t-shirt draped over the chair.
Yay, I'm glad you got it.
Made it all the way to the UK.
Yeah.
So
he was teasing us about the way we say math.
I'm trying to think, what else do we have coming up? I talked about Breakpoint episodes. We have, I have to look at the content calendar. More blog entries, more Creator Toolbox, more Tokyo stuff coming up in the next few weeks. I did produce another Did You Know? It's ready to go. We're trying to figure out when to release it. It may be as soon as Monday. We have 2 days in August. Earl pointed out we have 2 days in August where we didn't have a piece of content. I said, well, use this if you want. It's either going to be Monday the 22nd or the following week. What was it? The 31st or something. There were like 2 days in August where we didn't have anything. So sometime in the next week or so, you're going to see another short 3-minute and change. Did you know? Fascinating stuff that I jotted down notes. This comes from the Wayback Machine. At least one of them. It's a 2-for-1. I got two Did You Knows in one thing because it kind of went together. So thank you once again. And anything else?
No, on my behalf, cheers to everyone. How was your beer? It ended up being a good pick.
Yeah, we can't say goodbye yet. We have to rate our drinks. Go rate your sake.
I really like this. I don't even usually like really dry sake, but this one had like a very strong hint of like melon, which for a dry sake, I think actually was ultimately better because usually they get too sweet. So I'll give it out of 10. I'll give it like an 8 or 9. I really liked it.
I'm dividing by 2 because our rating is 0 through 5.
Okay, fair.
I had to do that with our old TechNow survey results too. It's like I hate it when you're like importing data and somebody changes the scale on you. Like, no,
you can't change the scale.
They did that too. It's like, go through all the legacy data, divide everything by 2, so that you can compare old data with new data. How did we do on this? Anyway, I got sidetracked. My beer, the Kona Light Blonde Ale, is gone. Well,
Ooh.
now it's gone.
I was like, you were busy to drink that whole beer. Good for you. Good multitasker.
Hey, you stopped to make a comment. I stopped to take a drink. That's how that went.
Fair.
I give this. Oh, and we have a 1/4 point success factor too. So when we're successful, like we were today, you're free to add a 1/4 point to your drink because they taste better when you win.
That's very true.
I'm giving this a 4.5. I like this.
Very nice. Well, we hope everyone out there also has enjoyed their drinks. If you had fun today, be sure, I think there's a banner for this as well. Be sure
to subscribe. Like and
subscribe. Any engagement helps. If you have any questions about this in the future, post them here and we'll do our best to make sure that we can answer them as well.
Phil says, what time is karaoke? Actually, that's a work in progress right now. We are working on a virtual karaoke party as a kind of a community builder. The karaoke app I built does have a remote capability in it so that you avoid latency lag over Zoom. So we are working on a date. It'll probably be in September sometime, and we'll have to do stuff that is clock friendly to various regions. So look for that. We'll go around the horn. If you just want to show up and watch people on this Zoom, you don't even have to sing, but it's just going to be fun. It'll be fun. So we are working on that. I put that feature in about 2 years ago, and we've only used it like once.
Well, in the past there was so many more in-person stuff, so now that it's like, oh, it's finally got a big audience to use digitally. It's great.
All right, thank you very much for helping out, Lauren. It was a treat presenting with you.
Likewise, always.
So thanks for challenging, pushing that envelope, and giving new ideas.
Love to see it.
This is the part where we wave, say goodbye, and the music plays, right?
Yes, indeed. I got my finger on the trigger.
Hit it.
Have a good weekend, y'all. Bye.